Welcome, everyone. Please stand and join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. My name is Chris Dahlheim. I'm an alcoholic. My sobriety date is March 6th of 2014, and for that I'm grateful. Welcome to the 7 p.m. Thursday night meeting, the Treasure Map group of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. Before we start our evening, please remember to shut off or silence your cell phones. Thank you. We send a special welcome to any visitors from out of town. Please stand and introduce yourselves. Okay. Also, anyone who may be visiting the Treasure Map meeting for the first time, please stand and be recognized. Finally, if there's anyone here who's at their first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, please stand and be recognized. We are very happy you came tonight. You are welcome here. If you'd like, please come to the welcoming table. We have a gift for you. Once again, thank you for being here with us tonight. The Treasure Map group of Alcoholics Anonymous believes in working the 12 steps as outlined in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous with a sponsor. There are many home group members here tonight that are willing to be sponsors. If you are new or if you don't have a sponsor, you can stop at the back table during the break and talk to Randy for names and numbers of home group members willing to sponsor others. The Treasure Map group of Alcoholics Anonymous is committed to bringing a message of hope to those who suffer from alcoholism. We believe this message is contained within the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and our personal experiences. The AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Tonight's different. We're going to have a call-out meeting on gratitude. So we'll have a 10-minute speaker, and he'll talk about gratitude in his life, and then we'll be, each person after they speak, will pick someone from the crowd. So, announcements. Monthly online fulfillment of the 7 tradition is available today. Any support of the Treasure Map group meeting goes to support our meeting and its bills, events, speakers, costs, birthday celebrations, and newcomer welcoming meetings. To begin online Tradition 7 fulfillment, see Randy in the back or go to www.treasuremapmeeting.com. In addition, the Treasure Map group is a proud financial supporter of the local Sioux Falls Intergroup, Southeast South Dakota AA District 5, AA statewide in South Dakota Area 63, and worldwide AA through the World Service in New York. Also, if you're online, please grab a tag over there on the table and put it in the basket as it's passed. Please feel free to take our Treasure Map 12-step cards. They're a great way for you to pass on information about the meeting, and you can place your name and phone number on the back to pass on to people you could help with the program. All Big Book studies are up on our website, www.treasuremapmeeting.com. These studies cover all pages on the preface through chapter 6 up to step 10. Please feel free to use these as an aid to your program. The step works for to assist in sponsoring others. Step 11 and 12 will be posted this week. Special events, January 18th through the 20th. This weekend, 2019, the Rule 62 Rendezvous Conference will be held in Bismarck, North Dakota. Many of you are familiar with our Friends for Bismarck, including our speaker, Megan F. Several home group members are headed up to Bismarck for the conference. Please see www.rule62rendezvous.org for details. January 20th, 2019, group elections for Sioux Falls Intergroup will be held at the Intergroup office at 500 South Main Avenue, Sioux Falls. February 9th through 10th, 2019, Area 63 Winter Assembly, Pierre, South Dakota. For more details, see Amy H., the Treasurer Mat Meetings General Service Representative. March 2019, Newcomers Welcome Meeting. Bring as many newcomers as you can. Our goal is this quarter is to have 35 folks within 1 year or less. And then this is an announcement for us. Doing a 1.5 day Big Book workshop. Big Book Step Workshop. Part 1 will be on March 2019. This 1.5 day workshop will be a time to actually work the steps. We will have handouts, big books, and everything you will need to start and complete steps 1 through 9. Also, free Joe and Charlie Big Book studies will be raffled off for participants. The step working shop is part 2 is June 2019. This day workshop, 1.5 day workshop, will be continuation of the March 2019 workshop. We'll have everything you'll need to start and complete steps 10, 11, and 12. Also, free Joe and Charlie Big Book studies will be raffled out. Exact dates will be coming following soon, so check the website out for that. District 5 Corrections and Treatment Committee. Looking for folks to run meetings at the Minnehaha County Jail, Work Release Center, and the South Dakota State Penitentiary. Background check is required, minimum of 3 months of continuous sobriety, and contact Matt at mcexpert.com. And now, please welcome Tyler to read how it works.
Tyler, alcoholic, addict.
Tyler.
Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program, usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. They are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way that we used to be like what happened and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have, are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact natures of our wrongs. 6. We were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. C, that God could and would if he were sought. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. And now Bob has volunteered to read how it works. To read our 12 traditions as we pass the basket. Thank you everybody in advance for your generosity and support. Tradition 7 states every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions.
Good evening, I'm Bob and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Bob.
These are the 12 traditions. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on AA unity. 2, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4, each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. 6, an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10, Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Thanks, Bob. We talk a lot about the home group membership at the Treasure Map group because we believe it is vital to our recovery. What does it mean to be a home group member? Here's a brief excerpt from the AA General Service Conference approved pamphlet on the AA group. Traditionally, most AA members through the years have found it important to belong to one group that they call their home group. This is their group where they accept service responsibilities and try to sustain friendships. And although all AA members are usually welcome at all groups and feel at home at any of these meetings, the concept of the home group has still remained the strongest bond between the AA member and the fellowship. With membership comes the right to vote on issues that might affect the group and might also affect AA as a whole, a process that forms the very cornerstone of AA's service structure. As with all group conscious matters, each AA member has one vote, and this, ideally, is voted through the home group. Over the years, the very essence of AA strength has remained with our home group, which for many members becomes our extended family. Once isolated by drinking, we find in the home group a solid, continuous support system, friends, and very often a sponsor. We also learn firsthand through the group's workings how to place principles before personalities in the interest of carrying the AA message. Talking about her own group, a member says, part of my commitment is to show up at my home group meetings, greet newcomers at the door, and be available to them. Not only for them, but for me. My fellow group members are the people who know me, listen to me, and steer me straight when I'm off in left field. They give me their experience, strength, and AA love, enabling me to pass it on to the alcoholic who still suffers. If you're interested in making the Treasure Map meeting your home group, please see Randy at the table. during our break. And we're going to take break now, and then we'll come back and start the call-up meeting. So why don't you guys come back about 7:25 and we'll get started. All right, guys, if y'all want to settle back in, we'll get the call-up meeting started. Just remember, the format for this is that once you get called, you come up and probably share a couple minutes, 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and then pick someone else when you get done. And that will keep the formation going. And we've got Todd coming up to open it up, and welcome, Todd.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Todd, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Todd.
Grateful for everybody that's here tonight. And that's what this is about when you get called on. It's just all about gratitude. Chris hit me up on this as soon as I walked in the door, and for that, Chris, I'm grateful. So he says it's on gratitude, and I said, well, that's easy. You know, it's there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. I really don't know where to start. And I guess we can start at the beginning is, you know, when I hit bottom. And I'm grateful for that. With the help of everybody in this room and everybody in AA, the program of AA, the 12 steps, I've got a great life going on right now. And for that, I'm grateful. And I can appreciate it. My life wasn't bad to begin with, I guess. You know, grew up in a good family. I'm not going to sit here and tell my whole story or anything, but it, I guess the way I explained it is when I was drinking and stuff, I never heard the birds. I was just walking around in a haze. Now I hear them. Now I see the sunshine. I see the moon. I see the stars. And I appreciate that so much. My higher power, it's a miracle. You know, I always had religion in my life, but not spirituality. And it's a huge difference. Every morning before I get out of bed, there's so many things I got to be grateful for. My heart's still beating. I'm still breathing. I got all the functions of my body. And I'm grateful for that. And then just, you know, coming here to see everybody. To see that, you know, to be grateful around this group of people, to be, you know, when I first started coming to AA, to back up a little bit, you know, I'd hear people say, well, you know, hey, my name's Todd, I'm a grateful alcoholic. And I'm like, are you nuts? You know, what do you got to be grateful for? But being in the program and working the program and everything else that you get from it that just improves your entire life. You know, your mental attitude, your physical attitude, your outlook on life. And we've been given a gift to be grateful for, to appreciate that. You know, there's so many people out there wandering around that, you know, maybe they don't have a drinking or a drugging problem, but they got issues. I've seen them driving. And I guess I'm even grateful for that. You know, they're always in a hurry, and it just makes me think, you know, you got to keep your eyes out for the other guy because, you know, they got other things going on in their life and they don't have an outlet on how to deal with that. And that's where I get to the being grateful that I'm an alcoholic, because there are areas in my life that I didn't even know I had issues with that. Now I've dealt with them. And, you know, the road is a lot nicer now than the bumpy one that I was on before. And how much longer do I have here, Chris? When did I start?
About 6 minutes.
About 6. All right. So anyway, I'm grateful for my higher power who's with me every day, and I'm grateful I can turn my will over to him, and you know, have him lead the way, because it wasn't working for me when I was trying to control it. Grateful for my family. I've been blessed that way. I got 13 grandkids, and we've been blessed there too, because they all live in South Dakota, right on I-29. They're not spread out all over the country, and I don't care what anybody says, grandkids are awesome. You have to spoil them, get them all sugared up, give them back. So I guess karma, paybacks, I'm grateful for that too, because it's like, here you go. And but yeah, it's just I'm grateful for the path my life has taken now, and I'm going to continue on with this one day at a time. All right, thanks. Richie?
Rich.
I'm Richie. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Richie.
You know, when I heard this is what the meeting was on tonight, my mind instantly starts rolling, and I just noticed that I did this the other day, not too long ago. When I hear people say how good life is in AA meeting or anywhere, telling me how good something is, or telling a group, I find myself shaking my head. So if you're saying something good about your life and you see me shaking my head, it's not because I'm like doubting it, it's because I'm like, I shouldn't even be here. Because this pops through my head of how good life is. I just go, I shouldn't even be here. And, you know, and I'm thinking when I go through phases in AA where I said in a meeting how good life is, and it's, if you're new and you're hearing people say this, like, it's because this is possible for anybody. So if you're real new and you're like, it doesn't even seem like it can be that good, it is. For a long time, I'd hear people say things like, you know, I just want to stop drinking, and it's better than just not drinking. And I'd be, well, I don't think it can be much better than just not drinking. Well, it is, but I had to do the work. And so I'm just sitting there going, why do I shake my head when things are good? It's because I shouldn't even be here. I was just, I can rattle off all the material things that are pretty good in my life, but most of all, I'm grateful, like Todd said, I hit that bottom, and it took me a long time, and I prayed for willingness to do this work in the psych ward, and he helped me be willing, and I did a bunch of the steps and good things, and then that stuff that I didn't even think was true, like that I could be comfortable in my own skin, that's what I'm grateful for. I mean, I'm grateful for God. Didn't want God when I came here, but I am so grateful for them and Bill and Bob and the people who came before me, and these people in here who I've met in Sioux Falls. And every year at my birthday, when I sit and start thinking about all the people, I should be dead, that have helped me besides God, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, so many people back in Minneapolis that tried. I mean, they went so far out of their way to help me. And then I show up here and I meet I know faces here, and I know people here who would help me if I needed help. And now, again, it's, besides that, I mean, I can tell you what's good in my life. I still live in a little one-bedroom apartment. I was just telling Shane that, but I'm grateful for that. I've owned a couple houses. This program has given me my wife, who is a wonderful. I think everybody deserves to be happy, but God and this program have allowed me to meet the woman of my dreams. Like, I had no business being around people, let alone women, at a point in my life. I wish I could tell you I have, I used to say I haven't made my mom cry in this. I've made her cry one time in 8 years. And I feel like shit, but I'm grateful for this program to help me do that. It's just, I can sit up here and rattle, but mainly it's God, the people who came before me, and this program have allowed everything that I have in my life. That's point blank, period. Because without that stuff, I shouldn't be here. I just shake my head and go, God, I shouldn't even be here. I was just in Costa Rica, sitting on the beach, shaking my head, going, I shouldn't even be here. This is insane. So it is a great topic. And, it is, most of the time, for 8 years, I've been fairly content, okay? But if I catch myself, this program has allowed me to really reel this thing in when I'm feeling sorry for myself, which I think is the opposite of grateful. It don't last very long. And when it does, I know I'm going to be okay because of this program and what these guys outlined here. And I could go on and on. Arthur, thank you guys.
I'm Arthur. I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, gratitude. That's for me. It is indispensable. They talk about open-mindedness, willingness, honesty. Yes, those are indispensable. But without gratitude, I'm just spinning my wheels. But I'm grateful for this program because it's given me the ability to have gratitude. I always managed to find something great prior to actually working this program, and I would mess it up every time. Without fail, I would destroy whatever it was. And this program has given me the tools to interact with all of those great things without having to change them, without having to twist this and turn that and make it something different than it was before I came along. I can just enjoy being there with it, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or a job or what have you. I'm grateful for Richie too. I'm sure anybody in this room with any sort of long-term sobriety, you've had those days where, gratitude is the farthest thing from your mind, and whatever the crisis is, has got your head about to explode. And I had one of those days. I was within my first year of recovery, and I'm calling my sponsor, it's not answering, calling numbers. Finally, Richie, poor guy. Yeah, this is Richie. Oh, thank God. And I remember him saying, well, I don't really know much about kids, but I know about crazy women. And my day I started to be able to have gratitude again from there. It's a perspective. It changes everything. And I guess that's probably about as far as I can go with that tonight, because that just sums it up for me. So with that, Mike. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Donnelly. I'm an alcoholic. Great to be here tonight. And Chrissy, thanks for taking the meeting. And Todd, thanks for starting all the comments so far. Appreciate them. I think Arthur touched on something. And, I remember when I came in, I thought gratitude was a feeling, right? And I don't know how your feelings are or were when you came in, but very roller coaster like, you know, I mean, within minutes, right? So someone greeted me at the door and they were nice. Then they were out of styrofoam cups for the coffee, and then it was terrible. And then somebody gave me a cup of coffee, and then it was great again. And then someone asked me, do you have a sponsor yet? Then I felt terrible again. I mean, it's just constant this, you know. And I heard this tape by a guy who was sober. He's sober now 60 years. We just celebrated his 60th birthday down in Atlanta. His name's Clancy. I'm listening to this tape, and the tape was the 4 myths of AA. It's a great talk if you can find it. It was probably done in the early 80s. I don't know. It's great talk. And one of the myths he says is that we help other people because we're grateful. He says that's a myth. He says gratitude comes from helping other people. So when the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's not really grateful that the phone is ringing. But when he hangs up, he's grateful that it wasn't him that needed to make the call that night. Grateful that someone thought high enough of him, given where he came from, that they would choose him to call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Grateful that he had a phone that worked so that that person on the other end of the line could actually call somebody, you know. And I found that to be true. I found that really to be true. Even today, right, I can lose perspective on how good we have it or how good I have it. I can forget that. And then I'll find somebody in the program and talk to them for 15, 20 minutes about what's going on in their world, you know, about their situation, you know, or a new person who just came back in, you know. And so to me, gratitude is certainly a feeling, but it has to surpass my feelings. It has to go beyond that. It has to be manifested in my behavior, right? And I remember when I was at my first meeting, somebody gave me a big book. Just, here you go. Here's a big book. If you do this, it'll save your life. You can read it all day, but if you do it, it'll change you. And I wasn't sure I believed him. I had no idea what he was talking about, really, but he gave that to me. And he didn't know me from Adam. So when I'm at meetings, right, and I see a person there for the first time, that's one of the reasons we give big books away to people who are at their first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Somebody did that for me. And so we try to do it for other people. You know? So I'm certainly grateful for my family. I have the greatest wife in the entire world. Like I have no idea how I landed. I've been in sales for over 30 years. Best deal I ever cut was getting her down the aisle. There's no question about that. My 2 boys who I would take a bullet for both of them. They're just such good men. I have a daughter-in-law who, I mean, and I'm not trying to paint an image that isn't real. I mean, it's just true. Like my heart just explodes with what I have in my life today. My daughter-in-law is brilliant. And yesterday she was named vice president of a division in her bank. I mean, just, you know, and she gets to tell me about it. And I get to hear about it. And it's not a burden, right? I get to hear about it. And my grandkids, Grace and Hank and, you know, sweet little Rose. If you know me, you know I'm a grandpa to the core, man. I mean, I love being a grandpa. And there's just nothing like it. And I feel so blessed that God, for whatever reason, in his mercy or in his foolishness, I'm not sure which some days, allowed me the opportunity when I didn't deserve it at all, to have a life like the one this book has given me and he has given me. And I'm grateful for the Treasure Map group. You know, we started this thing about a year ago, and some of my best friends are involved in it. And some of I've made such tremendous friendships in just putting the meetings together and being here and showing up and moving chairs and just hearing about your stories and kind of where you come from and what's happening in your world. Like, truth is, I really feel close to this meeting, and I really feel like I love you guys, and I feel very humbled that we're sitting here tonight, because we shouldn't be, you know. And God has somehow decided to reach into the pit and pull us out and give us a chance. You know, if we can come alongside of each other and do these steps, we can have a pretty good life. That's for sure. I'm going to pass it to my friend in the back from Chicago. Yeah, absolutely. So God bless you all, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pam. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Tam.
And I am very grateful to be here. And thank you, Mike. I was just thinking when we were talking about gratitude about my year this past year. It has not been an easy year at all. And I was just telling myself that what I've really been doing for quite a while is every day counting all the things that I am not grateful for. And I'm focusing on those things. And I can tell you that but by doing that, I stay sick. By doing that, I cut myself off from the sunlight of the spirit. I don't have any connection with the higher power. What I've discovered, even in just the last few weeks, maybe it's because it's 2019 and I don't know, I'm changing my perspective. But when I do live in gratitude, even if I find one tiny little thing, because some days, actually my sponsor told me, write down something you're grateful for every day. And there's days I sit there and I look at that blank piece of paper and think, I don't have anything. That's a bunch of crap. That's what I've been telling myself for a very long time. And that's why I've been in and out of these rooms for a very long time. And so I have discovered that when I do find gratitude, even in the smallest little things, I find immediate connection with my higher power. And that is really right now saving my life on a daily basis. A couple weeks ago, I'd never even heard of South Dakota. I mean, I had. I'm not that ignorant, but here I am. And I know when I pulled into Tallgrass that was an act of God. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. I love this program. I love the history of it. I love the big book. I love most of all the people being in treatment so many times and being in and out of the rooms for so many years. I think one of you guys was saying it's the people that I've met through Alcoholics Anonymous that bring me so much joy and just gratitude for that. So I don't think I can really go through life not finding one thing a day to be grateful for. So I'm going to keep trying to do that and keep coming back. So thanks. I'm going to go to my fellow Hawkeye right here. I can't pass you up with a Hawkeye jersey.
I'm Nate. I'm an alcoholic. Gratitude. I'm terrible at this. I am grateful for a ton of things as well, just like everything everyone said. I'm grateful for Richie because he introduced me to the program when I was sitting in Minnehaha County Jail, just thinking my life was over and at an end. I'm grateful for my higher power. I'm so blessed to be able to grow every single day with my higher power. I think that's incredible. But most of all, I'm going to put you on blast, Chris. I am super grateful for my sponsor. I was a cowardly little guy when I asked him to sponsor me. And then about a week later, I got out of Tallgrass and there was a hiccup with where I was going to be staying. And I called him and I was like, I'm freaking out. And the first thing he said is, you can come stay with me. Just like that. Didn't even think it through, or maybe he did really quickly, but whatever it may be. And let me crash on his couch for an entire week while I got where I was going next figured out. I call him quite often with problems that I think are like the biggest thing in the entire world. And he does this thing. And I don't know if he called my mom and asked her or called a family member and said, how do I handle Nate? But if you tell me not to do something, then I tend to automatically do it. It's one of my character defects. And so from the very beginning, he's had the ability to say, well, I think you should do this. However, the decision's up to you. And then that allows me to not just automatically go to that defensive thinking that I have and automatically counter whatever it may be that I want to do or not do. And so I'm super grateful for that. I could go on for hours about it. I'm grateful for you guys, and think specifically the fellowship, because I get giddy to come to meetings. I get so excited because I get to come and see you guys, but I get to talk to you and you guys ask me how my day are, and you honestly you care about me. And that is so amazing, because in my drinking and using days, I don't even think I cared about myself. And in the beginning of my sobriety, I still didn't care that much about myself, and you guys helped me through it. I am grateful for every single one of you. I'm grateful for my home group, which is here, because I get to see the same people with new faces intermingled into it and meet new people. And now I'm rambling. So with that, I'm going to pass. Alec, where are you at, buddy? You're up next.
My name's Alec. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Hi, Alec.
Gratitude is definitely something that I need to work on every day. You know, I've come a long way with that, but you know, it's a great topic, and I don't know. One thing I'm very grateful for, and Nate kind of hit on it too, was my relationship that I have with my higher power, my sponsor that I currently have. You know, he was always stressing. He had me write down my priorities one day, and you know, I wrote some stuff down, like top 3 priorities, and then you know, he kind of crumpled up the paper and threw it away and told me to do it again, and I did it again, and same thing. And then he's like, you know, it might help to look at it this way: is, you know, if you know, put your higher power as one. This is just me and coming from him. He said, you know, put your higher power as number one, because without your higher power, you wouldn't have your sobriety, and without your sobriety, you definitely wouldn't have your family. And you know, those were some of them that I had in there, and he put it in that order, and it just put things into perspective for me. And it's definitely true in my case. So I'm grateful for the knowledge that he has, and I'm also grateful for the fellowship as well. I've met a lot of great people through this program, and whether it's just a handshake and a hello or how are you doing, like I can genuinely feel, you know, the compassion in the rooms of AA, and even seeing someone outside of AA that I know is a lot better today than it ever has been. But most importantly, I think I'm grateful for this, which is my 24-hour chip. You know, I'm about 3 months sober now, but well, I carry this around in my pocket too. Just when I'm struggling, I'll kind of hold it and take it out and look at it, and you know, it reminds me, you know, how far I've come and how far, you know, I still have to go. But you know, and I'll end by saying, you know, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of, you know, people I would look up to as heroes, sports figures, whatever. And now I look at it as, you know, people like Todd or Richie or Mike, anyone in this room could be a hero to me. And, you know, so I'm grateful for the people of AA. So with that, I'm going to shut up. And
Thanks, Al.
I'm Kenzie. I'm an alcoholic drug addict.
Hi, Kenzie.
I am immensely grateful. This month on the 20th, I'll have 9 months. And it has been, thank you. It has been a roller coaster of 9 months, let me tell you. To finding out that I was pregnant, to getting sober, it's just been like a roller coaster of emotions. Like, you know, Mike says, you know, I think like one moment you're like, it's good. And then another moment you're like, why am I doing this? And another moment you're like, oh, it's good. And, you know, I think I'm just so immensely grateful because I'm placing my little guy up for adoption. And that's something I don't think I could ever, if I was not in a sound state of mind and sober, I don't think I could do that honestly and truthfully, make that decision to do that. I'm just so immensely grateful to this group. I've got my 8-month chip from you guys and some 6-month one and my 7th-month one from you guys. And so it's been just amazing to kind of go that long with sobriety and things. I'm just so immensely grateful to the fellowship here too. You guys make me laugh on a regular basis, which is great. Chris is back there, he's chuckling. But you know, and I'm thankful for my sponsor too, because I call her all the time, you know, with hard things or good things. And, you know, she always gives me the same response that that Chris will give Nate. You know, I think you should do this, but, you know, you use your own discretion is what she says. And I love that. So that's all I have in gratitude. I'm just thankful to be here, and I'm thankful for my son coming in a couple weeks, which is crazy. But Chris, why don't you come up here and give us your spiel?
Chris Dahlheim, alcoholic.
Hi, Chris.
Gratitude. I just want to start by saying I'm usually not grateful enough for what I should be grateful for. I take for granted a lot of things. Truly grateful for the federal police, which is weird. If you guys want to talk to me afterwards, I got a pretty good story about the federal police. I got sober at their hands, and you know, I'm grateful for life. Like Richie said, I shouldn't be here. I was type 1 diabetic, and what I went through, no human should have survived. And you know, I'm grateful for family, like everybody said. My family never, ever gave up on me. Hundreds of times that I broke their hearts. I just blatantly was doing what I wanted to do with no respect for them. I'm grateful for my sponsor, for his wisdom and his knowledge. And I don't call him as much as I should, so that's something I kind of take advantage of. But I just get this feeling when I listen to him talk, like it's just incredible the way he describes things. And he started me with that whole, I think you should do this, but it's really up to you. I'm gonna let you make your own decisions. So I just stole that from him, and it seems to work pretty well. You know, I'm grateful for recovery. My obsession to drink and use and gamble and all the things I used to do was lifted in a second, right? Ever since I got sober, I haven't had one urge to have a drink, to go do anything. And I'm really grateful for hopelessness. That's the best gift I could ever give myself, right? Was such a black world that I don't ever want to go back there. And that's what Bill says, we have to be mangled, right? And I was pretty mangled when I got in here. Most people said I was probably dead walking around. You know, I'm grateful for my higher power, absolutely. He has absolutely carried me through my life. And I've lived more lives than a cat has, right? I just know that when he's in my corner, I don't have nothing to worry about, but I still take those things back into my head and I have to give them back. Grateful for the program. Like Nate and everybody else has said, it's inspiring just to come to a meeting, right, and listen to all these different people and how their lives used to be and how they are now. And that gives me the ability to see people when I come in here when I was new and go, okay, this worked. I listened to a guy named Reed share his testimony the second time I was in treatment. And if you know Reed, his story was so crazy. I'm like, if he can do this, anybody can. And so the inspiration is there. And then really, I'm really grateful to be able to perform the 12th step. I'm grateful to go down to treatment centers and share my story with people. I used to say that, I tell people that's the biggest high I've ever had, the most natural, pure high I've ever had. And it is absolutely 100% true. And if I was listening to someone, I would think they would be lying. But I can be having a horrible day or a horrible week. I can go down and talk to a group and I'm on cloud 9 for at least 2 days, right? I'm just lifted up. And I would never do that before. I wouldn't waste my time on you for anything. I'm glad I can give rather than take, because that's nothing I was good at in my life. You know, I'm grateful for a lot of things. I could talk for a while too, but grateful to be sober, grateful to be alive, and grateful to be there for people these days. Thanks.
My name is Brandon Danielson, and I am an alcoholic addict. I am grateful for many things tonight. You know, the fact that I have the opportunity to sit here in front of you guys and speak. I couldn't be more grateful for this program. It has saved my life and given me knowledge to things that I never knew. You know, now I have the knowledge that I have a disease. You know, I know now that when I put that first drink in me, it triggers an allergy. And that allergy is going to send me off to crave more and more and more. And I never had a relationship with my higher power before this, which I call God. He has helped me in ways that I can't explain. And I hope that each of you get that opportunity. I'm very grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful that I'm not alone. I always thought I was alone. But sitting in any room of AA, I know I'm not alone. Even outside, I know I'm not alone. I know now that when I'm out, around, it's going to be okay. God is going to lead me. And I accept His will, 100%. I'm at a loss of words for what He's done for me. But I'm very grateful for my sponsor. He has helped me in ways that truly I am blessed. And I'm grateful that I get to come here and meet new people. I'm grateful for you guys accepting me. You know, I was always afraid of that before. But I'm grateful that I'm here. You know, I'm grateful for family and everything else. But I'm grateful for this program because I would be dead or in jail right now if it wasn't for this program. I did not care about anything. I didn't care about myself. But through the grace of God in this program, I have found a purpose in life that I'm always forever grateful. I'm grateful that you guys are here to listen to me. I'm grateful that I can listen to you guys. And I just want to thank everybody that's here tonight. Thank you.
I'm Tom, and I'm an alcoholic. Two weeks and 2 times, huh? You know, last week when I shared, I started out, I had spent 2 or 3 minutes in the kitchen, and I was doing what my sponsor taught me to do, praying and asking God that whatever I shared would come out. And Mike sat back over there, and I was about 3 or 4 minutes into the program, and he looked at me, and I thought, something's going on. And I swore about 4 or 5 times in the presentation. And I don't do that. I was so excited to be here. I was so tickled to be here. I got that far ahead of God. Now, I didn't find that out without Mike's help, without these guys' help, and without your help. And I didn't know it was okay. You know, I was excited. I got back in line with God as best I could, did the best I could. And, and I was able to do, we were talking about the 10th step last week, and I was able to go back and look at my swearing, talk to a good friend of mine in Montana, and write a text to the people that I'd injured. And tonight I get to say to you, I apologize, I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that. I don't intend to do that. I'll do the best I can. But this program has given me the opportunity to get back up and tell you that. Holy cow, in a week. That's amazing. You talk about gratitude, yes. And I skipped out on the meeting for a little bit. I just got a call, and I have to share with you. It's a really good friend who I've been waiting to hear from. He's been in AA with me in North Dakota for a long time. He's moved to Oregon. He's a great guy. He's looking for a home group in Oregon. He hasn't been able to find one. He's been texting but not calling. He called when we sat down to start. Good to hear from him. He's one of us. I'm grateful for him. I met him, we were branding calves in Western North Dakota, and I met him. He and a bunch of other guys that were in the program. And they let me be a part of it. Love horses, love to ride. Let me be a part of it. Mike talked about going like this in the beginning. We all do. The part about the treasure, good, orderly direction, God, boy, it's here. And for that, I am very grateful. Don't know many of you folks, but I will get acquainted with more, I hope. The gentleman in the back with that fantastic gray beard.
Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Tommy.
My name is Patrick, and I am an alcoholic. Gratitude, what a great subject. First thing I will talk about is humility. I am so grateful for the amount of humility that I've been taught. That's allowed me to stay sober today. When I came here, I was not full of humility. I was full of humiliation. And there's a huge difference. It has been a long journey to learn that I'm not as important as I think I am, and that I need to put other people ahead of myself. I've heard in meetings many times that it's a selfish program, and I can tell you that about 20 years of selfish program got me in a place where I was ready to leave my wife. And I'm so grateful for friends in the program that can tell you some options and let you make the decision that really changed the course of my life and make me a person who's able to serve instead of be served. I'm most grateful for things that I carry in my pocket. They remind me of the things that are outside of my pocket to be grateful for. I like Mike. I'm very grateful for the wife that I married. She challenges me in ways that I need to be challenged in. I have a pickup truck key in my pocket. I had a pickup when I got here, and I got one now. This one runs. It's kind of nice. I got some change in my pocket. I didn't have a lot of change when I got here. I'd been working for a company for 5 years as a drunk. I was a salesman, outside salesman for Cedar. And my ego, boosted by the amount of alcohol that I poured into my system, allowed me to sell pretty well. I mean, I was okay. But when I quit drinking, and I white-knuckled it for several months at first, I didn't have that courage to get out of the pickup one day, about 9 months of sobriety. I went to my boss and said, I was scared to get out of the truck and talk to the contractor. And he said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. I guess I'll have to let you go. And I'm grateful for that, because the job that I had then was a lot of stress for me. And I don't deal well with stress without the alcohol, because I didn't have the right tools. I had to use that to deal with stress. So I'm grateful for having been let go 9 months sober. I turned 30 when I was 9 months sober. I got fired from that first job. I found I could never have kids. And what else happened? One other thing. Big thing. It must be so big because I can't even remember what it was. But a lot of things happen in sobriety that are very difficult to deal with sober. So it's great to get tools, and I got those tools by listening to what was said and by working these steps one at a time, understanding them, but more importantly, doing them. I understood after I did them much better than I understood before doing them. And that's allowed me to be able to help others in that process. Other things I have in my pocket. Somebody already mentioned this. I'm sorry, I don't remember who. Was it you, Nate? 24-hour chip? Alec. Right? 24 hours. That's my most valuable possession in my pocket, because if without it, I got nothing. 25 years is shadowed by the 24 hours. Mike gave me a Irish blessing. I don't know why it's in my pocket, to be honest with you. I met Mike probably really close to 25 years ago. And we hung out a lot together. We did some road trips. But we got to know each other. I think that's what really makes the difference for me in AA, is if I'm known by people, if they understand what my struggles in life are, what my dreams in life are, what my gratitude list contains. And so that's what I love most about AA is the relationships that I've built here, that have allowed me to see that there's a relationship with a power greater than myself that can do so much for me, like many of you have already mentioned, that I can't do by myself. I cannot do this alone. And that's the best thing I can say, is I am just so grateful for each and every one of the alcoholics that I've met in 25 years. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Tyler, alcoholic addict. I guess I'm thankful for about everything that everyone else is thankful for. The AA fellowship. It's my first recovery process. Got to thank Tallgrass for that. I've came a long way, found my higher power. I'm really thankful for that. Thankful for my family standing next to me, being there for me, for how much I've hurt them. Thankful to be an uncle. I mean, that's one of the best gifts, I guess. I get to give them away. once I get them all riled up. Guess I'm thankful for all you guys. I don't really have a home group. I'm from Watertown, but I consider all these places that Tallgrass has showed me basically my home group. Southside, Treasure Map, Young Guns. Go to Young Guns. Just there's so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my 20 days sober today. It's the most I've been sober in 9 years. Yeah. I'm just happy to know there's another way. I guess with that, I'll pass. Roger.
Thanks, Tyler.
Hi, I'm Roger, alcoholic.
Roger.
Yeah, I'm first time in the program. I'm with Tyler and Pam back there. We're just guests at Tallgrass, so this is all pretty much new to me. We've been going to meetings and whatever. I've got 1 week left, and then I'll be out and about. And I think that this is my third time here. I've really enjoyed coming to the Treasure Map. I think it's going to make one of my home groups. I've really enjoyed Mike's come. I've heard him speak a couple times. He was at Tallgrass last week. I think he's great, and so I'm pretty excited about coming here in a couple weeks and making it my home group. Things I'm grateful for, a lot of things that I'm still above ground. I really hit rock bottom about a month ago, and my life spiraled out of control, and it was just amazing how fast it can change both ways. I went down, now I'm up, and I'm just really grateful for that. And we've been coming to, like Tyler said, the 3 groups and listening to a lot of different speakers, a lot of different stories. I'm really a believer it is a good program, and I'm just very thankful to be a part of it, and I hope my sobriety lasts me a long, long time. And you guys are all helpful, so I'm very grateful for you. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Matt.
I'm grateful that I wasn't first because you have all given me a lot of material to use. Actually, gratitude is something that I really have to work on. Growing up, I was pretty much given everything I wanted by my parents. I never really wanted for anything. I had a brother who committed suicide when I was very, very young, and my mother decided, if her son was always happy and didn't have to deal with any of life, then he wouldn't kill himself. And as I become an adult, I'm still a lot of times in that not very grateful person. And I do have a lot to be grateful for. I came into this program and I had about 3 years of sobriety, and along the way, I stopped being grateful for that sobriety. And consequently, I ended up having 3 relapses in the course of a year. It's showing me that really even one day of sobriety is something to be grateful for. Because I think after the first relapse, I was like there, I had 3 years, and now I just kind of pissed it all away. So what's the big deal? It's going to take me 3 more years to get back to there. So a day, a week, a month, 2 months, 4 months, what, that doesn't mean anything. But I've come to learn that it means a lot, actually. And I do have a lot to actually be grateful for. I have a family that has not ever given up on me, despite, again, breaking their hearts a billion times. I have a wife who shouldn't have to have put up with nearly what she's had to put up with, as I was drunk and even when I was sober a lot. And so I am grateful for her. I'm grateful for a sponsor who I am sure has had a big part in keeping me alive this long. So thank you, Pete. I'm grateful to this actual meeting too. As long as I'd been in the program, I'd never really actually chosen any place as my home group. There were places I liked and meetings I liked, and I tried to hit up certain ones, but I never was really, I don't know, willing maybe is the word, to commit to that, any of those being my home group. And after going here for a while and listening to everyone here, and Mike, I'm grateful for you too, because I feel like I've learned so much in listening to you talk. It has really inspired me to want to keep coming back and to make this group my home group. And I think my higher power, because I think without him, I wouldn't be here anymore. I like Richie, I shouldn't be here. I had a DWI one time where I ran my car into a tree, and if I'd have been about a foot or more to one direction, I'd have probably been dead. And that was 12 years ago. So thank you. I appreciate it. And God bless. And Peter?
My name's Peter. I'm an alcoholic. I too could work on being more grateful. Gratitude. Part of gratitude is me remembering where this life came from that I have. And that's the thing. I'm very grateful, and it wasn't because of me coming up with some grand idea of how I was going to fix my life or manage my life or anything like that. It came from surrendering. It came from being broken and beaten down, and being willing to listen to people in this program, and people who loved me, and being willing to humble myself and to admit that I don't have everything figured out, and trying it a different way. I give God credit for the life that I have today. I'm also grateful. I'm grateful for the people in this program who shared their lives with me. That's really that was huge for me. I think it's easy for alcoholics, especially in the despair of their drinking, to be alone and feel alone. But to be able to come to a place where people love you just for where you're at, and be willing to share their lives with you, that's huge. And I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for the things that the people who held me accountable, and at times and made my life difficult, because part of me realizing that I need to change is having to face the consequences when I don't make responsible choices, and when I want to have my way all the time, be the director of the show, so to speak. I grateful for this meeting. I'm grateful for the people that I have in my life, and my sponsor, my sponsees, the people who have sponsored me in the past. Yeah, so that's all I have. Thanks. All right. John.
I'm John. I am an alcoholic. Gratitude. I'm like Chris said, there's a lot of stuff I should be grateful for that I don't show that gratitude often enough. Usually I'm more grateful for the possessions that I have. But God has given me, this program has given me a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the program and what it has done for me. It introduced me to a way of life where I didn't need to drink.
It gave me the ability, it lays it out in black and white, designed for living. If this, do that. But most importantly, it introduced me to a higher power. And when I walked through the doors, I didn't know who I was. I looked at the people around me, hoping they could help me decide who I was supposed to be. And I was lost. I walked through my life just lost. And I came in here and I found this higher power. And this higher power showed me who I was. Not who I was, who they wanted me to be or they wanted me to be, but who I was, good and bad. And then gave me, like I said, that design for living. Improve the bad or improve the good. Get rid of the bad. I'm eternally grateful for that. The fact that my higher power continues to put people in my life. When I walked through the doors, I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what a son was, a brother, or a father, a husband. These things were all foreign to me. And I'm grateful for the relationships that this program and my higher power has given me the ability to build. I lost my father here a few months ago. And for the last 14 years of my life, I was able to build a relationship with him that for the first 22 years of my life, I could never have had. Because God put sons around me, and I learned how to be a son from them. I married a wonderful woman, no idea how to be a father or how to be a husband, and God put husbands around me to learn from. I became a father, no idea how to be a father, and again, God put fathers around me to learn from. You know, I'm eternally grateful. I wish I was more prone to show that gratitude. Like Chris said, all too often, I get caught up in the day-to-day. I spent the last thing I wanted to do was be called up here, honestly. I decided I don't want to be called up here, and then my head says, well, if they don't, as soon as the meeting's over, you're going to be like, why didn't they call me up? But I spent the last day and a half at a conference, an Arbor conference, listening to speakers talk about soil composition and root growth. And it was kind of interesting for me, but I'm a nerd. But it was more or less boring. I spent the last, 6 hours today with a 1-year-old on my chest throwing up routinely. And the last thing I wanted to do was come down here. The last thing I wanted to do was stand up here. I just need some me time. I need to turn on the TV and just get everybody away from me. And I'm grateful for these meetings. I usually don't want to come. What did you say about not grateful for the phone ringing in the middle of the night, but when you hang up the phone, I'm grateful, right? I'm not grateful that I'm coming down to the meeting when I'm on my way to the meeting and all I want to do is put the kids to bed and watch some TV. But when I leave the meeting and I get to experience what the new guy with 20 days has shared, I get to listen to the guy who's been sober for decades. I'm grateful. And on my way here, I called up one of those people that God has put in my life that I'm grateful for, not because they tell me what I want to hear, they make me feel good when I feel bad, but because they'll call me on my crap. When I don't feel good, when I'm upset about something, they'll go, it's because you're an idiot and you shouldn't have done this or you did that, and here's what you should do. I'm grateful God has given me the ability to put those people, or to want to call those people, because that's what I did on my way here. I was just going to stay home, watch some TV. The kid's sick. I got a good excuse to not come, but I did. I called that guy on my way here. We're going to go have coffee. I got some pretty big news. It's potentially life-changing here. And, I wanted to, I wanted to focus on me, right? I'm grateful for being here. I'm really glad I came, and I'm so grateful for the men that came before me that did this deal. Because if they hadn't have done it, they couldn't have shown me how. So that's all I got. I think we're at time.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you. Reading glasses. I'm old. So we'll end in our normal way. We'll do the Lord's Prayer, but I just want to say it's been a great meeting. I cannot get enough of hearing people be grateful, no matter what it's for. I didn't have any gratitude in my life for anything. So let's form a circle and say the Lord's Prayer.
Thanks, Chris.
Grateful for time. So I think grateful for our higher powers that got us here. Say that. Who's Father?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom,